What's up guys, and welcome back to Tech Lab. So our friends at Sahara Gaming recently reached out to us to see if we wanted to take a look at a new item. Now, as we've said before, we don't usually do reviews on request unless the thing is a bit quirky and weird, and hopefully today we've got something just like that. This is the SaharaMic 2. It's a detachable microphone for your headsets, and today we thought we'd take a look at it. So when they first sent this microphone through, we were a little bit cautious because we don't tend to use headsets. And because of that, we don't really actually have any headsets around to test it with, particularly none without microphones already. So what they did offer to send us was also one of the headsets. Now, we're not really too concerned about the review on the headset today. And to be honest, I opened this one first and it was questionable quality anyway. So luckily, we don't really need to look at that at all. It's more of just a demo piece. But the microphone itself wasn't too bad. The box is generally standard. It's a black colour with all the bits that you really need. It's got the list of accessories and parts, a picture of the product, things like that. But if we open it up, we'll actually get a bit of a surprise. Inside the packet, you get another packet. And actually this is in the form of a bit of a case which has got the Sahara Gaming branding over it. But it's there to keep your microphone pretty nice and safe. If we open that up, we can actually see that we have the microphone with its cable, and we get some extra accessories, the ones that were listed on the box. And I actually like this case. It's really good for keeping it pretty safe and secure, but also it's built quite well. I'm not sure what you would really use it for after you've actually attached the head microphone and you're going to be using that for a while, but either way, it's nice to be included. As part of the accessories, we obviously get a manual which tells us how to install it and how to use the device. Just about, it's just a piece of paper. We get a bit of a clean alcohol wipe, and that's for actually when we come to attach it, and we'll see why in a minute. And we get a bunch of spare pieces here. There is a bunch of clips there, which is actually for you to be able to attach the cable of this microphone to the existing cable of your headset if you've already got one. We get an extra little mount that can be stuck down and the microphone can actually mount to it, and we'll go through how that works in a minute. And we get a bunch of extra sticky pads. So this mic actually will work on any headset. So you don't necessarily have to have a pre-existing clip system. You can actually just stick a new one on. If we actually look at the microphone itself, the cable is pretty long and it's actually pretty sturdy. It's quite a thick cable, and I could imagine that you're not going to damage it too easily when messing around with it. And on the cable, we actually get a little box to be able to mute or unmute the mic there. As far as the design goes on the mic itself, it's just a simple boom arm that goes through a little bracket, just like the spare one we've got here. It loops back round, which is for the ergonomic design, and then it goes into a joiner to the cable with a nice little puffy thing on the end. To actually install this is pretty simple. First of all, we need a headset, and this is the one that they sent through for us today. Next, we just take the microphone and we peel off the little sticky pad, and we simply mount it on their headset to the little pad on there. Now, if you don't have one of these headsets and you're using a different one, obviously you can mount it wherever you want locally, but you generally just stick it just about there. Now, these pads are 3M VHB pads, so they're pretty strong and they're not going to just fall off randomly, but there you go, it's installed. And that's exactly where your mic comes from. Now, this arm will actually bend, so you can have some flexibility in it. And you can also remove it without removing the sticky pad by just undoing this screw here, popping it out, and then you can actually take out this whole piece of chain like that. Now, you don't necessarily have to undo the screw all the way, because the way it works is there's a little tiny spring inside this plastic that will go over the mic like that. You can put the screw back on, and as long as you undo the screw and not take it off, you can actually mount it onto the spare one, which could be on a different headset. And then as you tighten it up, it actually can't come back out again. So we'll loosen that one off, take it out of that one, drop it into this one, and just tighten it back up again. Now, in terms of quality, I was actually quite surprised at this device because the headset, like I said before, isn't great. It's missing a lot of features that you would actually want on a headset, and for the price of it, I would probably recommend going for something else. But for the microphone, it's a different story altogether. The quality of the microphone is pretty good, and to demonstrate that, we'll just switch over our system now to use that microphone. Now unfortunately our system is actually too far away for the length of cable on the microphone to use it on a headset, so instead we decided to hold it up just like this. Now this is going to be raw footage, we're not going to do any editing on the sound at all, and as you can tell it's actually pretty good. It can pick you up where the mic is pretty far away, but as it gets closer we get a much better sound altogether. So we'll continue the video on doing it like this, and hopefully you'll be able to get a bit of a judgment for how good the microphone is. Now all in all I was actually impressed with the microphone, but I couldn't really think of a use for it because most headsets actually come with their own microphones built in. Now generally I don't use headsets like I said before, but while thinking about this I actually found a scenario that was useful. Now if you do have a headset that's a really good quality headset but it doesn't have a microphone and you don't want to actually purchase a whole new headset just to get a microphone and maybe have a decrease in quality because your headset's so good, this is the perfect item for you. You can simply just install it onto that headset and as you'll know, you'll be able to just suddenly start to talk and you'll be able to remove it at will whenever you want. And using the extra features, you can actually install it onto multiple ones. So I'm actually quite impressed with this microphone. I'm going to use it. I'm going to see if I can actually attach it to something that we've got. Maybe I will use the headset in this because it's actually okay for doing things like editing and stuff like that. The biggest flaw with the headset that I found was actually that it doesn't have any controls on the wire or on the headset itself, which makes it pretty much impossible to use for something like a games console, particularly if you're sitting at distance. So that's where I wasn't very impressed with that, but for the mic, I was impressed. Now let me know in the comments what you think about these microphones. Would you have an actual use for it? Would you be able to use it on something that you've already got? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content, and I'll catch you in the next one.